That's how you think of it as something to watch. How's it going, everyone? All right. How's everybody doing today? I would like to make a video here. The intention of this video, if I can get this camera stabilized, because that's real life, I don't have a bunch of like gimbals and special custom shit to like my camera. There we go. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. Welcome. Well, yo, everyone. So this intention of this particular podcast, I really hate technology. It's annoying as hell. There we go. Let's figure this shit out here. There we go. My intention here is to only answer questions. I'm not here to feed you information or give you any type of insight. But if anyone has questions, feel free to ask them. Otherwise, I might be doing other shit in the background, answering my own questions about life. Let me see first. I thought I had a... Okay, here we go. Well, it doesn't matter. My brother and I were just talking about concerts and in the middle of a text messaging, and I realized I had to go live here. How's everybody doing? Well, here in Portland area, it's, well, the sun's out, but it's very red. Let's say it's very red. Because we have been encountering a bunch of smoke here in the Pacific Northwest in the Portland area. And honestly, don't know why I decided to make a live cast. Kind of spontaneous. And then I was like, why am I going to do this? It's like, well, I'll just do a Q&A kind of thing because I haven't done one in a while. So, hello, Inspector Pooper's visiting. Good to see you. Inspector Pooper is also my friend who gave me these shoes that I mentioned the other day. Now, these shoes are awesome. I am so stoked to have shoes that I can just slip on. Feels great. So thank you, my friend. Joel and I have known each other since we were in high school. So it's been a very long time. Long time. Hello, Aaron. Hello, Almighty Ohm. Hello, Inspector Pooper. Hello, Catholicos. Catholicos Psychology. The first comment says, the first question I should say, says, how do you feel about universal cycles? Wow, that's a pretty vague one. No offense. I don't know what you mean by feel about them. Are you talking about 26,000 year cycles, like as in, or, you know, global climate cycles? I'm not sure what you mean, but I don't really have much of a feeling about it, I guess. But if you want to specify what you mean, I'd be more than happy to be more specific. I believe that we have 26,000 year cycles, or 25,000 and 12,000 a year. Historically, there have been a lot of cycles the Earth has gone through as far as warming and cooling, but I'm not sure if that's what you mean. So I'll wait to hear more specifics. Lucky Frank. What's up, Frank? It's good to see you, my friend. I'm glad you're here. He says, is there any hope for the planet? I've been really stressing about climate change. Oh boy. I'll say yes. Yes. There is always hope for the planet. The planet, I'm sure that most of you have probably heard it before, but George Carlin did a famous stand-up, comedy show where he said, the planet's not going anywhere. We are. And, that always sticks by me. It's in my mind of this. We're completely fucking ourselves. But the planet's not the issue. I think what you mean is there any hope for the people? Because, Frank, you know that the planet's going to be fine. It will recover. It's been through many cycles. Hell, the planet's frozen over. It's been bombarded by asteroids. So if you're asking, is there any hope for people? Yes, absolutely. Small communities, learning how to garden, learning how to farm, taking care of yourself, um, learning how to interact with one another and not depending on a government. There is so much bullshit in the media right now that feeds you this idea that everything's fucked and there's no way out of it. Don't buy into it. Please don't buy into it. Even watching the news, I can't help it. I have to watch climate news. I have to see what's going on with the weather in the world. And it's just cringy most of the time. It makes you feel like it's helpless. Like we're helpless. Like there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do to change the outcome of the climate and the planet and the situation we're in. What we can do is adjust how we react to it. So it's kind of like stoicism or mental alchemy. It's about processing the situation that's going on and making the best out of it, because things won't change because we're upset. Things only change because we decide to see them differently. I hope that makes sense. Amy says, next question, how do you let go of anger towards someone who has intentionally wronged you? Asking for a friend. Oh, this is the greatest question. I love this question. How do you let go of anger? First of all, you have to teach yourself that anger is not worth holding on to. In other words, you can't just decide, I don't care anymore. So let's say you have an argument with someone, and the next day or the next week, you're still feeling this anger towards the person. It's my belief that if you wake up in the morning and you feel frustrated towards a person, you've got issues you need to work out. I know this may be my kind of, inner perception or, an illusion that maybe other people live differently and maybe people hold resentment and it's normal. But for me, if I argue with someone, whether it be a loved one, a family member, a friend, a stranger, I forget about it within an hour. I just don't give a shit. I have nothing tied up in proving anything to anyone, whether it be my mother, my brother, my cousin, my friend, my wife, my kids. I just do the best I can to be the best person I can. And if it's not good enough, then tough shit. And I think that that's kind of a relief for a lot of people when they realize that honey vanilla bourbon pecans are delicious. Sorry, had to have one. But yeah, I know people who resent others and hold in anger for a long period of time. I've talked to people who say they're still angry with somebody a week later, even a day later. That's their problem, not mine. I just can't do it. I don't hold resentment. It just ain't worth it. Almighty Ohm, good to see you. It says, cheers. I have a buddy in Cave Junction, Ontario here, and Smokey as well. Hope you're well. Yeah, the fires are getting ridiculous. They really are. Julie. Good to see you, Julie. Julie, I believe, is from Canada, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a long time. Evening, Carpo. I'm not yelling, sweetie. Anyway, I sent you an email a couple weeks ago and still haven't heard from you. Has your email changed? No, I got your email and I thought I responded. My apologies if I didn't. I finished my pecan here. I'm really bad about responding, and I try to respond as soon as I get an email. If I didn't, I'm sorry, but I'll definitely get back to you. What's up, Kevin? Oh, I'll be right back. I have to go get a refill on my drink. Think of your questions. talking to my kids. Kids are awesome. Sometimes I talk to people who are like, who think life can be lived a certain way. And I'm like, well, do you realize what it's like to have young kids? It's a completely different thing. Um, so back to here. What's up? I've got Inspector Pooper and Kevin Casey. These are two of my best friends that I grew up with. Two friends who had their own fallings out together, and people that I've argued with in the past, as friends should. And in the 21st century, it's just crazy to see two of my best friends' comments right next to each other. Aaron Olson says, can you speak on Kratom by chance? Yes, I can, Aaron. What would you like to hear about Kratom? If you can specify your questions, I will definitely answer them. No problem. Bob Weep, Grana Weep, Ninibon, Kevin says. Almighty Ohm says, if forests keep burning, we will fertilize the next cycle. Yes, the burning forests are a natural part of the process of renewal, and humans have held back these forest fires for a long time, trying to do our best to protect our own homes. I have mixed feelings about this. So you've got some extra money, you buy some land, you build a house, you want to put it on land, you want to keep it in the trees, you want to keep the image up to make it look good, make sure you don't cut down too many trees near your house. Next thing you know, your house is on fucking fire because you wanted to live in the woods. And this is a choice, a risk we take. If you live in the woods and your house burns down, that sucks. But you made that choice to live there, and you should have been aware of the circumstances. I'm looking to buy land right now. I'm looking to buy land with trees, with property, and if I do, and I make the same mistake, so be it. I'll get fucked over. It's just how it is. But burning is part of the cycle. Kevin says, things are better now than they ever have been. It's just that there are entities out there that want to, sow the seeds of disorder so they can profit. You're absolutely correct. I don't really, here's the thing. You're right. People sow the seeds of discontent, but it's us that fertilize them as people, if that makes sense. They sow the seeds of profit, and we as humans, as adult citizens, fertilize them by buying the stuff, by going along with the propaganda, by listening to the media. And they profit, but as long as we're aware of that, we can do a lot better. Dan says, stupid keyboard app, can't type properly. Cat Wild says, hey Carbo, hello Cat. Almighty Ohm says, in Buddhism, some consider this the Dharma ending age. The Dharma ending age. That just means many are far too ignorant and self-absorbed to act. Apathy and hedonism reigns. I know that, you're a pretty spiritual type person, I believe. I would like to wonder and ask you this because I'm curious about it too, as a person who has studied kind of, in mythology and mysticism. What is hedonism? Like, I'm having a hard time with this one. Like, there's certain sects of religion who believe that people shouldn't have a good time, right? No partying, no drinking, no fun, no dancing even. Then there's others who celebrate all those things but believe that what matters is this or that. I don't know what hedonism is, because every definition I've ever heard of hedonism says that these people are hedonists because they drink, because they smoke, because they party, because they have sex. I've never once seen a hedonist as somebody who abuses others. That's because abuse and hedonism are two different things. If you want to go out and have fun, and sex, drugs, rock and roll are your thing, then so be it. Hedonism is something that I completely support, and I guess in essence, I am a hedonist. I can't deny that. But I might be wrong. I don't know. Frank says, thank you, Carpo. You're welcome, Frank. Thank you for coming. I appreciate seeing Frank on here, because I'm not going to bring your personal life into this. You have your own channel, but I know you've had some hard times lately. And on YouTube, you can notice by other YouTubers who have certain topics that they talk about or certain demeanors that people are having a rough time. And Frank is a fucking awesome human being. If y'all haven't been to Lucky Frank's channel, you should definitely go. For a young feller, I mean, I guess I've been watching him for a few years. I would guess you were probably under 18 when I first watched you. I'm not sure. But you just have this heart and this desire, and you play guitar, you sing, you do your thing, and I respect that highly. When I was your age, I had a very strong self-doubt about myself. I had a feeling that I was a piece of shit. And I've seen that echoed in a lot of young people. It's just a passing phase. You are the shit, dude. You are the shit. Don't ever let your own opinions. It's bad enough that we let other people's opinions phase us on who we are, but then we let our own opinions tell us what's right and wrong. It makes me sick. It's sad. Um, most people are good people, and they mean well, and they don't want to harm anyone else. Um, Frank, you're a good person, man. Inspector Pooper says, will the war ever end? Which war, my friend? I mean, if you're talking about Afghanistan, hey, we pulled out after 20 years, and now the Taliban took back over, so. Cheers, Frank. Ohm says trauma is huge. Yes, trauma is a big one, for sure. I have a hard time determining what trauma actually is, because it's so unique for each person. I'm reading through comments, by the way. I can hear Lucy. Oh, see, that dates it. I'm way back here. I'm way behind here. I'll try to flip through the comments and see if there's any questions. Aaron says, is Kratom from the smoke shop hit or miss, or is it all the same? Yes, it's hit and miss. Absolutely. How do I judge if it's good? You take it, you see if it works for you. That's all you can do. I mean, it's a tough one. Look, I've been a Kratom vendor for 6 years. I've been a Kratom user for 10 years. I still have a hard time judging Kratom. I just talked to the guy that I buy mine from, and I'm getting ready to order like 50 kilos, which is a lot for me because it's like all the money I have. And I was asking him, and he sent me the percentage charts. I make sure I get the copy of the contaminant charts, all the testing done, right? And I think it's 1.5%, which really isn't bad. And that's 1.5% mitragynine, but not 7-hydroxymitragynine, which is a different compound within the same plant. But yeah, the stuff can be a little hard to determine what's good and what's bad. That's all. Crashed. Carpa, what are your 2 favorite styles of beer? Just curious. Good question, St. Ainsley. My 2 favorite types of beer are IPA for the first one, and a good stout, oatmeal stout for the second. Totally different types of beer, but I love them. Amy says, I'm terrified of crashes, and then Andre says, have you crashed? Now I'm confused as to know what you mean by crashing. Whether you mean accidents, auto accidents, please specify and I'll clarify. Kevin says, where are all the old schoolers at? Let's go to NGR and play some frizz. We can wait for Lager to catch up. Toads. Almighty Om says, the Buddha taught me Madhyamaka, the middle way, hedonism, to indulge the self and to ignore our part to play in the entirety of the universe. I'm right there with you, my friend. Dan says he'd like to jump off a diving board, like Olympic 15-meter dive would be fun. Cliff diving would be fun too. When I was a kid, we used to jump off like these 60-foot, basically like these walkways between these huge concrete pillars on the Willamette River. And this is where like barges used to dock. So me and actually not Inspector Pooper there, but me and Kevin and a couple other friends, Mike Barnum, and some others, we used to go down and jump into the water and jump from a very high point. So yeah, jumping is fun. That's pretty much cliff diving. Yeah, Andre says, my buddy went off a cliff jumping and his brother threw a rock and it landed on his face. Yeah, that's fucked up, dude. Where am I at here? I'm out of vape juice. Sucks. Kevin likes Kratom before the gym. Kevin's a good friend of mine. I introduced him to Kratom a few years back, and I kind of feel guilty because I know that Kratom can be addictive, but we all choose our addictions, right? Yeah, Rick says I had an ice cream stout. That actually sounds good. I've actually done that. I've taken stout and put it with the ice cream, kind of like a root beer float, but it's like a stout float. Pretty fucking good. What's up, Adam? What's up, Daniel? Hello, Nemesis Breaks. It's good to see you, my friend. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well, too. Kevin says, Spider Mountain Mushroom 8. What he means by that is Spider A Mountain Mushroom 8. It's a spider. It's an A. It's a mountain, a mountain, a mushroom, and an 8. So my friend had the same tattoo as me. It's the spider web with hate on the fingers. He did a spider, then he turned the H into an A, the A into a mountain, the T into a mushroom, and the E into an 8. So in other words, my friend and I, when we were 14, we went down and decided to get some India ink at the store, at the fucking store. We bought India ink, needles, and thread, and we did stick and poke and tattooed our hate on our hands to be cool. Now, we both had our own reasons. His dad had never been present. My dad had been absent because he died. So we were both in kind of angry states, and we tattooed this on our hand. When he got to be in his 20s, he started having hate on his hand. So he decided he's going to tattoo over it. So he changed it, and he had some tattoo artist go over this and change all this to all these to symbols. But what it did was made them all darker and much more apparent. Most people don't even realize I have hate on my hands. If I move like this, I mean, you can't even tell it's there, but the minute I would tattoo it heavily, of course you would notice it. So, yeah, that's what that's all about. Adam says he quit Kratom and started again. Got to taper down. That's the thing. He says, got to taper down, as you well know, but the truth is, I'm going to be honest with you all right now. I don't well know, because I have never quit taking Kratom since I started taking it in 2009. I've been taking Kratom for over 12 years, and I've never had any reason to want to quit. It's kind of like drinking coffee. Society tells me that Kratom's bad, so it makes me guilty. But society doesn't say much about coffee. It's like, well, some people drink coffee. I feel like Kratom is kind of the same way. And that's just my opinion. Ohm says, I'm in my second week off Kratom. 5 years in this journey. I was stubborn in the end, like many with vaping. Yeah, vaping ain't the best, I'll tell you that. Cowboy float. I like that. Chocolate vodka? Thank you, Daniel. It's good to I hope you're doing well, too. Amy says, vodka doesn't freeze. You're correct, unless you buy cheap vodka. Here's the thing I've found, is that some vodka does freeze. It depends on the temperature of the freezer. It depends on the quality of the vodka. Smirnoff will freeze. Just a side note here. Almighty Ohm says, good vodka doesn't freeze. Exactly. That was exactly... That's the best point. Amy says, I'll never know if Josh has a phobia. Okay, you want to know what my fucking phobia is? Josh is the fearless man. Yeah, right. Okay, I'll tell you what my phobia is. I'm not scared of death. I'm not scared of fire. I'm not scared of pain. I mean, I've been through enough of that shit. I'm not scared of being broke. I'm not scared of suffering. I'm not scared of the unknown. I am a fearless motherfucker. But let me tell you one thing, my weakness, my weak point. Everybody has their kryptonite. If you were to drop me in the ocean, I would fucking freak out. I have no interest in going in the fucking ocean. Seriously, there is so much weird shit in there. And I know a lot of people who swim in the ocean, who go diving and whatnot, say, oh, whatever, dude, it's nothing. There's animals in there, the sharks won't fuck with you. Nobody wants to fuck with humans. That's different. Diving under the water surface at least allows you to come face to face with your nemesis. Sitting on the surface of the water and floating, lost in the middle of the sea after a shipwreck, is probably my biggest fear. The scariest thing I could possibly imagine would be treading water in the ocean with the light reflecting off the water so I can't see what's down there. Fuck that. Fuck that. Dude, that's some scary shit right there, dude. That's all there is. I don't give a shit. I'll deal with people. I'll deal with zombies. I don't care. Do not put me in the ocean. That's all there is. I don't care about sharks. It's not the sharks. It's just the unknown. So, hope that answers your question. Adam says, I'm scared of women. You shouldn't be scared of women. They're scary as fuck. But, yeah. I'm married, so what can I say? Been with my wife for 23 years now, almost. If you fear women, it usually means we fear a component of being a man that we're not good at. That sounds maybe a little shallow, but it's not. It's, there's plenty I'm not good at. I'm learning too, so. Almighty says, I agree with Jung. I fear myself. Great point. Great point. Dan says he's ticklish. Look, Dan, I don't know how the fuck you knew that, but it's not my fear, but I am ticklish as a son of a bitch. If you tickle me, I will punch you in the face. Can't help it. Okay, Kevin says if I don't take Kratom, I get RLS at night. Nothing extreme. I haven't not taken Kratom, so I don't know, but I would say this. I take Kratom in the morning when I wake up around 8 or 9 a.m. Maybe 4 to 5 grams. Then around noon to 1, I take another 4 to 5 grams. And then around 3 to 4 or 6 p.m., somewhere between 3 and 6 p.m., I take another 5 grams. So basically, I don't know. I have never had any like downside to Kratom, but there was one time when I ran out. I went to work the next day, and I had to deal with some heavy duty like labor I had to do, and I got really overwhelmed early in the day. So I had to tell my boss I'm leaving, drive down to what's the place called? The Dragon Herbarium. It's an herb shop in Portland. And buy myself some, like, you know, Mang Da to get myself through the day. So, yes, I'm addicted to it. And I get that. And I'm okay with addictions as long as they don't harm me. But, yeah, Kratom's a tricky one. Adam says the ocean is worse than damn outer space. Well, we've investigated a lot less of it, that's for sure. I would much rather go into outer space than the ocean. Can't help it. Okay, says sturgeon are freshwater fish, a couple tons of fish. Let me tell you something about sturgeon. This is a story that goes back in the Portland area to the 1800s. Now, when they were building the dam, the Bonneville Dam, there were these legends and stories of these people who dove down, who had to figure out and scout out to figure out where to put the pillars, right, to set up the dam. And when they went down to the bottom of the river to see what was down there, they found a whole bunch of logs, trees that had sunk, right? That shit's scary to me. Okay, going to the bottom of a fast-moving river and looking what's down there is scary as shit to me. It's fucking creepy as hell. I can't even imagine. So apparently, a couple of the guys that went down there, they thought that they saw these logs with their lights, But when they got closer, they realized that these were actually sturgeon. Giant fucking sturgeon. And in Oregon, they have this, well, there's an aquarium kind of thing there in the gorge where they have the largest sturgeon in captivity. But somebody stole it like a couple of years ago. So I don't know if it was ever returned or if they got another one or how that worked. Somebody literally came and stole this giant sturgeon out of this tank. But sturgeon are scary, ancient creatures. They are beasts. Okay? And when you look at one in a tank, that's one thing, or on a shore. But when you look at one under the water, it's creepy as shit. They are ancient dinosaurs. And yeah, the Colombian River, the Columbia River, has a lot of sturgeon, and it's pretty creepy. Sturgeon is tasty. I'm scared of property managers. Amy says, Inspector, is that because you haven't paid your rent? I doubt it. He pays his rent. I will guarantee you that Inspector Pooper pays his rent. Inspector Pooper is the one who spent $15 to send me these shoes. He's a good man. I am very happy to have shoes. Thanks, Joel. Kevin says, treading water in the ocean and something touches your foot. Dude, you nailed my fear right there. Not just something touches your foot, but something slides along your foot and continues for like 30 feet. That is probably the scariest thing I can imagine. Fuck that. Yeah, no, not cool. All right, so where are we at? Fighting an alligator. Dan says, I had my first jab, but not doing the second one. Well, I would say if you've already had the first one, you might as well get the second one. Just because, I mean, your body's already been introduced to that same vaccine, so you might as well. I'm not against vaccines. I've been having this discussion with my brother for several days now that I'm going to the Fish concert in 2 weeks, and they require a vaccine or basically a negative test, meaning that Wednesday night before I go to the show, I have to go out, take myself, my wife, and my oldest son down, get us all tested, then make sure those tests are negative, then carry that information with us to the show and make sure that we can get into the show. So, yeah, we are being, kind of herded like cattle, and I understand the desire to protect each other, but COVID is weird right now. I don't know what else to think about it. The old diamondback sturgeon. Yep. River chicken. Hello, George Wachowski. How you doing, my friend? George has been a subscriber of mine, and I've been a subscriber of his for probably 10 years. It's good to see you, George. He lives over on the Columbia River, I think on Highway 30 towards the coast somewhere out there in St. Helens. Unless that's changed. Daniel says, shot 1 gets you to 50%, shot 2 gets you to 90%. That's what they say, but I have a hard time with the idea that Delta variant seems to be pretty consistently spread among people who have it, and I wonder how effective they actually are, and that makes it a little confusing. Ohm says fish might not happen, people don't follow the rules. It'll happen, I'm sure it will. I mean, they're already playing right now, so we'll see. Andre says, what percentage of Americans die from COVID? I have no idea. Nobody knows yet. Pooper says, damn, wherever did people at a show not get treated like cattle? Exactly. This is the thing. If you've ever been to a big concert like this in the gorge, you get pushed through these little fucking entryways. Everybody waits in line for hours. So my question is, how are they going to ask everybody for the goddamn vaccine information at the same time as asking them for their tickets and actually analyze all this shit. I mean, it's obscene. It really is. Master Fun, good to see you, my friend. He says, "Hey Carpo, have you ever had to defend yourself or your family or property? I hope you never have to." Not yet. No, I haven't, fortunately. I mean, sure, I've had to defend my family as individuals against other people, but not like physically. I've never had to actually fire a weapon at anyone or anything like that. And I hope I never do. Eye wobbles are cured as an example. That's an interesting concept. I haven't had eye wobbles in years. I think it depends on the strain you take, not really how. Yeah, it really depends on yeah. Amy says Josh has killed many, probably. Adam says it could definitely lead to a bad trip at the show. The whole vibe is off out there. Well, I don't know what you mean. I won't answer that one. I like the vibe. Depends on how high I am. Okay, Jacob says that makes sense. I haven't really thought about it like that. Thank you for the tip. Absolutely. Jan says, are red strains more sedating with Kratom, I'm assuming? They can be, but sometimes they can mean nothing. Whites can be energizing, greens can be motivating, reds can be sedating, but it really depends on the person. And the alkaloids are generally about the same. So it depends. Back about 10 years ago, if you were to buy a red Thai and then a white Sumatra, they would be very different. These days, it's harder to tell the difference, honestly. And I think it's because the old growth has gone by the wayside, I guess. Andre says, what made you add your name, man? What do you mean? What made you add your name, Maine? I don't know what you mean. Daniel says, I wonder if you could grow your own Kratom. Your garden going good this year? No, I didn't spend much time on my garden this year, and honestly, you can grow Kratom, but it's a little more difficult. Whoops. What happened? There we go. Kratom's hard to grow in the northern hemisphere, but I believe that's going to be changing over time here. Oh, he says, how do you get your channel name? I got my channel name through Carpo719. Carpo was the name I had from a game called Zonk with 5 dice. It's like 10,000, but it's smoking weed. You pick a name that comes to mind, so I picked Carpo. 719 was my old address when I first moved to Lake Oswego when I was like a teenager. So I thought Carpo 719 would work since Carpo 420 can't work. Somebody already took it back in the day. As far as the channel name, you might mean Carpo, the most rational man on earth, or whatever it says. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Because I'm the most rational person on earth. I mean, that's not even a question. Andre says, yeah, your YouTube name is longer. Yes, because I'm the most rational person on earth. God, you guys, get with it, all right? Says RDA user A, do it yourself e-liquids. No, I used to. I definitely have an RDA, which is a rebuildable drip atomizer, rather than using an RTA. I had an RTA, which was a rebuildable tank atomizer. But most of the people these days at the vape shop, they sell these tanks that are like, you have to buy the special coils for them. And I always tell the guys I don't want that. I want to just be able to take a piece of cotton and stick it in there like I have for 5 years. I don't want to spend $3, $4, $5 per fucking coil when I could build one for 10 cents. And so, anyway, I've been rebuilding my own tanks for years, and I like it better that way. George says, I left Oregon 7 years ago, got thoroughly jacked up from radiation. I'm in southwest Missouri, really small town. Holy shit. Wow, George, I didn't know you were all the way over there. That's a long way away, brother. Hope you're doing well. Carpo Tunnel. Come on, Adam. Like I've never heard that one. Dan says, how come you haven't had the 15-minute sign for a while in the background? Because I don't put the time in or give a shit. It's right here somewhere. I don't know. I'll tell you why, Dan. Because at one point I thought that by having the sign in the background it would give me some sort of a what's the word I'm looking for? I guess a brand. And I thought it would help my videos, but it doesn't. So I just don't give a shit. Yeah, that's about it. Andre says we need to get on our knees in the rocks and pray to this God. Which God? Hello Jeff Bay. He says, Kratom ban, I don't think it will happen. Mac Haddow is the man. I don't know who Mac Haddow is. He might be one of the Kratom advocate guys. I'm not sure, but the Kratom ban thing is basically the FDA and DEA trying to circumvent people's public opinion by selling to other countries this idea that banning kratom is going to benefit them. The hard thing is going to be when their people have benefited from kratom and it's reduced opioid intake, and when so much money is being made in Indonesia, it's going to be hard for them to justify that. That's my thought, anyway. Dan says, I want that sign. Yeah, the 15-minute free thinking sign is one of my favorite things. I'm probably going to put it up for bid or auction someday. How tall are you, Josh? Good question. I'm actually 5'2". No, I'm 6'3". I'm tall as motherfucker. Nick says, hello Nick. Hey Carpo, I think you would like the magical butter machine. It's not cheap, but it's nice for edibles and cooking. Thanks. I'll check into it. If it's not cheap, I probably won't buy it because I'm a cheapskate, but I have a lot of old harvest that I've been turning into butter. So I have a whole bunch of can of butter in the fridge. And I use a crock pot, and I use it on high, and I put, say, a couple ounces of cannabis to 4 sticks of butter, or maybe 3 or 4 ounces. It depends. You just kind of feel it out, but I have a hard time buying or affording to buy the machines unless I'm actually making a lot, in which case I might do that. Okay, Master Fun. I'm reading. Master Fun. It says, how do you feel about North Korea? Can you believe something like that could happen in a civilized age? It's interesting to look into. I'm not sure what you mean about North Korea. You might be talking about the fact that they have so much power, or the fact that their people are so deprived of nutrients, or how they compare to South Koreans, but I'm not sure. I think that North Korea let me put it this way, they're belligerent and obnoxious, but they have every reason to feel the way they do about America because America is a tyrannical dictatorship posing as a democracy. And hey, I live in that country. That's all I can say about it. Josh is 9'3". Inspector Pooper says, if God could smoke all the weed at once, do you think he would do it? No. Fuck no. God wants to leave me at least a bowl, dude. And I've got a good fat bowl here of Bubba Kush. This one says apple fritter, but it's not apple fritter. God would dab? No. God would not dab, brother. No offense. Dabbing sucks. Dabbing is for those who can't conserve their tolerance for the times when it matters. Like some beautiful kush. Oh man, I can't wait to smoke this. I'm sure YouTube doesn't like that. Are you gonna censor me, YouTube? Do it. Do it. Oh shit. George says, between the blast from Fukushima and the leakage from Hanford nuke waste facility, I thought it was prudent to head to higher ground. You're probably smart, George, for that. Although, even though Hanford is an extremely leaky bitch, I don't really think that Fukushima was a major issue. I think it was overstated. Not because it didn't release as much radiation as they say, but because that very radiation was diluted by the ocean due to its proximity to the ocean. Several months after Fukushima, I had people telling me that a bunch of radioactive stuff was going to wash up on the shores here in Washington and Oregon. I went down there, didn't see anything. There were some things that were slightly radioactive, but radioactivity is not my biggest concern, so that's just me, I guess. But I might be a complete idiot if the shit hits the fan. Adam says, I recommend Magic Butter. Got my mom one. She's always stoned when I come over. Yeah. I actually have basically an entire... I should have taken one today. Probably would keep me from drinking or smoking too much cannabis, but I make these caramels, this caramel recipe, which is just epic. They are so tasty and they're so strong, and they're probably like 40-50 milligrams per treat, but I like to make it strong, right? Amy says, have you had any weird dreams recently? Fuck. Dude or sister. Honestly, I don't know who half my subscribers are. I want to, but it doesn't matter whether you're a boy or girl, left or right, any of that. Yeah, I've had a lot of weird dreams lately. The last week or so, I've had some of the craziest dreams ever, and I just block them out because I can't deal with it. In the last year and a half, 2 years, since COVID started, I've been having apocalyptic dreams. I've had dreams of hurricanes. I've had dreams of tornadoes, dreams of major tsunamis, huge tsunamis. I've had dreams of the sun going out. And 2 nights ago, I had a dream that I was hanging out with a bunch of people and a storm came in and all this lightning started striking everywhere. We knew we were fucked. So we ran under an overpass. In the dream, I knew I was safe under the overpass because lightning doesn't strike in the place I was at. And I knew that it would be absorbed by the bridge. And there were like 100 of us hiding under this overpass, waiting for the lightning to pass. And I thought, is this just because I watched like Suspicious Observer, which is like a YouTuber who talks about conspiracies and shit, talks about like, the solar activity. I don't know, but it was pretty wild. And make sure you hit that fucking thumbs up button, people. If you're on here, do that now. I'm commanding you. Jesse says, how many guitars do you have? Which do you like playing more, acoustic or electric? Acoustic. Hands down, dude. Hands down. Okay, so I have this. A friend gave me this. My friend who was on here, Kevin, he's been one of my subscribers and one of my friends for years. It's got the Jerry Garcia sticker on it with the moon. He gave me this as a gift. A gift! An acoustic bass. And so this goes back here. I also have an acoustic guitar, and I have a 12-string acoustic guitar, which my oldest son, who's 26, gave me last year. Both amazing, amazing, amazing instruments. So, yeah, I'm kind of passionate about that. I love acoustic guitars. I think that they are what it's all about. If you can make an acoustic guitar sing, then you have it. God damn it. It's a microphone. I had it hooked up so I could like play music and record thoughts and stuff like that. So, there. This is my crow necklace. My wife got this for me from, it's from Russia, actually. Crows or corvids are my favorite animals. So, there we go. That's better. So yes, I've been having some weird dreams. Really weird dreams. And I've been having, and I have 3 acoustic guitars and 1 electric, which I won't show you because it's a waste of my time and yours, but it's like a Starburst ESP guitar. Andre says God would smoke meth first. Have you ever smoked meth? It's pretty wild. Bully Boy says, Josh, do you believe in reptilians? No, I do not, and have no reason to. But I do believe in a reptilian mindset. Masonic checkers. Hello, hot retarded chicks. How are you? Going through comments. Okay, Master Fun says, deep introspective question here. What are your flaws as a human? That's probably the best question all night. It's great. Good one. My flaws as a human. I'm not very romantic. I should be better at that with my wife. I am not very, let's see. The romantic thing is one. Number 2, I get a little too hung up on knowledge, which I'm learning to overcome. Starting to figure out that it doesn't matter who has the facts or the truth. But I still want to understand things a little too much. Number 3, my biggest flaw, I think. I don't have the same motivation to work my ass off like other people do and start several businesses, make a lot of money, and become successful like a lot of people. As far as what society deems to be successful, I tend to find myself at a lack of description for why I feel the way I feel. I don't know. It's a tricky one. Hot retarded chick says, you're a dude. You're a dude too, and your name is Hot Retarded Chicks. You might want to get that checked out. Dan says meth is basically not in England. I'm sure it's around in the UK and meth is not a problem. Meth is a huge problem everywhere. You just don't see the people who have the problem with it. Dan, I guarantee you that meth is plenty available in England. But it's probably much more available in the US because in Mexico, the cartels are manufacturing this shit in a quantity. So, okay. Dan said, okay, well, flipping through comments. Looking for questions. If you ain't got no questions, I'm going to have to go soon because I'm getting tired. I need to make food for the kids. No offense to you all, just my thing. Amy says you procrastinate. Can we list your flaws? Oh, I procrastinate like a motherfucker. In fact, I'm a champion procrastinator. Don't give a shit. Opalite says, who is watching your kids? Opalite is my wife, Michelle. She's there to give me shit about the kids because the kids are in the house right now. Don't worry, honey. They're well taken care of. I found this guy that was walking down the street. He said, hey, do you need somebody to watch your kids? I said, dude, can you come in and watch my kids while I'm making a video? He said, dude, no problem. And I let him in the house. I don't know what else to think. Breaking Bad. Jeff says, are you a good public speaker? Don't know. I'd try. I probably wouldn't get too stressed out. Biff Tannen says, what happens after you die? You die. You're gone. I don't know. A procrastinator. Exactly. That's the thing. I'm really good at putting shit off. It's okay. It is what it is. Procrastination is lack of confidence. Sorry, Amy, you're actually incorrect on that one. I mean, sometimes it is, absolutely. Sometimes it's just lack of motivation. Jesse says, what's something you used to like to do but can't anymore? I would say skateboard. Perfect example. So my dog, my husky, I took her out. We went up to a bunch of, I usually have her pull me on my skateboard. You've probably seen the videos. So I went up to the cemetery, I hung around, and then I came back, and there was one spot where the street light was not lighting the street. And as she's pulling me through that spot, I thought, oh great, I'm probably going to hit a pothole. It was only like a split second later that I hit a pothole, like this deep and this wide. Completely face planted, fucked up, broke 2 fingers, or at least sprained them. They still hurt today, like a month and a half later. And I thought, why am I skateboarding? I shouldn't be doing this, but I enjoy it. I need to go out and take risks. I'm 45, but I'm not a pussy. And I guess you can't even say that anymore. I'll probably get offend somebody for saying the word pussy. But y'all get the point. So skateboarding is the answer to that. Vitamin C, selenium. Hello, will never be a cog in this system. It's good to see you too. Favorite species of psilocybin genus or any other psychedelic mushroom? Psilocybe cubensis is my favorite. I would say, as far as strain, penis envy or golden teachers. The highest dose I ever took was a friend of mine who had golden teachers. We sat, it's actually Inspector Pooper there. who was on the chat tonight, we split a half ounce and we hung out by Mount Adams by this creek and just kept eating them until we were done with the half ounce. And it was a crazy experience. I had a great night. The stars turned into, you know, whatever you want to call them, patterns, ideas. It was wild. It was wild. It was wild. Daniel says, Josh, answer my question. What's your favorite waterfall in Seattle? Thanks. I've never been to any waterfalls in Seattle in my life. I'm sorry. I've only been to Seattle twice, once or twice. I don't really care for it. I don't know of any of the waterfalls in the area. George says, I've been hooked on tying fishing flies, pun intended. Dude, I know that feeling. I got into making my own spinners, like trout spinners, and I was really into, like, tying my own stuff for a while. And then my buddy started making flies, and he got all these, I can totally understand it. I'm a guy who likes to work with small stuff, so. Hello, Ichiko. Yeah, I'm not here for long, but I'll be here for a while. Nick, hello. He says, what would be your main advice for being a new father, non-custodial? Oh boy. That's a tricky one. I mean, I've never been a father who's not in custody of my children, so I wouldn't really know how to respond to someone who has to deal with that. I would say be cordial, be respectful, be kind, and get your kids to love you. And I don't mean like convince them to love you because you're faking. I mean, be the best dad you can when you're with them, and they will want to be with you. So if you're a new father and you can't hang out with your kids, that's a very tough one. I can't imagine the feeling that must bring up. But I would say that the only thing you can do is not argue with your former spouse. Don't fight with them. Don't make a big deal about shit. Even if they want to make an argument about something, let it fucking go. Because I don't know your situation, but I do know what's important, most important, is hanging out with the kids, not getting one over on your ex-wife or whatever. So do your thing, and when you're with the kids, make sure they have as good of a time as possible, but also be honest with them. Don't just spoil them because you want to earn, there's a lot of battles between ex-wives and husbands, and it shouldn't be that way. That's my opinion anyway. Hope that helps. Jesse says, what's your favorite season of the year and favorite thing to do during it? That's always a tricky one. I like the fall, and I like to walk through the woods while the leaves are falling. And it does look like my camera's about to... It's weird. Oh, it's not charging, I see. Weird. My phone should last a little longer. What's your favorite movie? Oh, shit. Maximum Overdrive. I'm not even kidding. If you haven't heard of it, then you're a fool. No, I'm kidding. AC/DC is the soundtrack. It's about trucks that take over the world because of a comet that's passing by the Earth. Technology becomes self-aware. You might want to consider it one of the earliest AI films, I guess, besides 2001. But it was a horrible movie. It was a Stephen King movie, horribly done, horribly rated, horribly reviewed. And yet it's one of my favorites because my brother Nick and I watched it when we were like 9 and 12, like over and over and over. But I'm guessing you're probably asking what's my favorite movie that I consider the best movie. I don't have one. I really don't. I love The Matrix like everybody else. I also, I don't know. I really don't know. George says, have you ever been to the Hoh Rainforest? It's one of the most awesome places I've been in the Northwest. Well, George, in case you, thank you for bringing that up. I went to the Hoh Rainforest this year, about 3 weeks ago. We just got back. I uploaded one video from the Hoh Rainforest from the west side of the Olympics, and we went into a really cool spot right to the entrance of the Olympic National Rainforest, and we camped there. We hung out right next to this giant, fucking giant cedar tree, and yeah, it's a beautiful place. I would highly recommend it to anyone, but I also, maybe I'm a bit selfish. I don't want to suggest it because it's already packed. It's hard to find a camp spot. It's hard to find a time to get in for some of these camp spots. Yeah. Beautiful place, though, George. Thanks for bringing that up. Amy says, what county do you want to visit? I'm guessing you mean country because counties don't mean shit. If I were to visit any country, hmm, never really thought about it. Honestly, it would be more of a question of if you could appear anywhere you wanted on Earth, where would it be? Machu Picchu would be cool, but it's over, way overstated. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Jesse says, have you ever been in a sensory deprivation tank? Yes, I have. It's awesome. I highly recommend it to anyone. My son and I, he's 26 now. I think it was about 3 years ago. He wanted to go to a sensory deprivation tank, and we went to this place in Portland. It's called Urban Float, and we hung out in this tank. It was a nice tiled tub. For those who don't know, a sensory deprivation tank is basically salt water you float in. You lay there, you close your eyes, you probably heard of it. Joe Rogan made it pretty popular. But some of them close over you. Other ones, you're just in a room where you turn off the lights by yourself. You lay down in the tank, and it's more like a tub than a tank. And that's the one we went to. Crazy experience. Some people go and they take edible cannabis. Some people take psychedelics. Some people just do nothing and have amazing experiences in there. But yes, highly recommended. Highly recommended. Andre says, how did you know your wife was the one? Well, I have to be honest, I don't believe in the one. I don't believe in I don't believe that humans are designed to meet the perfect companion. I don't think that humans just get together and you find the one. It's a noble and romanticized version of reality. But my wife, I worked at a gas station. My wife worked at a restaurant next door. I worked from 6 o'clock a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. She worked around the same schedule. So I would go in and I would order breakfast, and she would leave me these little notes on the inside of the container. It was so awesome. Like, stay dry, have a good day. And eventually, I realized that she was hitting on me. And let me just say that I'm a very ignorant and unaware when it comes to romanticized stuff. And once I realized, we started dating and we got together. We've been together now for 23 years. 23 years. It's awesome. So it's not about her being the one. It's about us working together to make our relationship the one, if that makes sense. Jan says, where were you born? I was born in Milwaukee, Oregon. Basically, Portland. I mean, Portland. Oh, you were asking them? George says, Idiocracy, the most prophetic book I know of. Yeah, it kind of seems that way sometimes, huh? Nottingham, Rottingham. Master. All right. Somebody talking about pleasuring yourself. I love fingering myself. Oh, that's great. I'm glad to hear it. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but yeah, you did answer. Josh, I meant to ask you your favorite waterfall in Portland. Oh man, that's a tricky one too. I don't know. I would say that a lot of people would say go to Multnomah Falls. It's a beautiful place, but now you have to make reservations to even go there. If you want to go to the most, okay, if I were to say, here's a beautiful waterfall near Portland, I would say go to Panther Creek Falls. It's up off of Wind River Highway out of Stevenson, which is in the gorge in Oregon, just past Bonneville going east. You go to Stevenson, then you go to Carson. You take a left at Carson up the Wind River Highway. Then you take a right on Panther Creek Road. And you follow that up for about 5 miles. And there's this beautiful waterfall that is it's like split up into two parts. Absolutely gorgeous. Nobody's ever there. Totally worth fucking seeing. Absolutely gorgeous. Gotta see it. Nick says, I know you don't like sports, but I bought you a Seattle Kraken ticket. Would you go? I don't know what Kraken is. Is that a, I'll be brutally honest. I don't even know what sport that is or what team that is. I'm just really bad at knowing stuff. Amy says, I don't want to quarantine though. Like I said earlier, I have to go get either a vaccine or a test before I go to the Fish concert because they won't allow people in without one or the other. It just sucks because then I have to take the whole family and have us all tested right before we go to the show. And no, I don't have a vaccine because I'm not interested yet. Makes me very, I don't know, reluctant, skeptical. Nick says it's the new NHL team. See, I thought it might be hockey. The last time I went to a hockey game was when my school, I got free tickets to go to the Winterhawks in Portland. I still have one of the pucks. Or I did. I don't know what happened to it now. Think about it. Somebody must have stole that motherfucker. You know, you ever think about things in life that you used to have and you think it disappeared and you think somebody must have stole that from me. Bastards. But maybe I lost it. I don't know. But yeah. I'd probably go. I'd go to any if somebody invited me to go to any game or concert or something, I'd probably go, but you know, it's hard to find the time and the motivation to do these things. I guess I'm gonna have to go now. As my wife mentioned, the kids are probably hungry. Hold on a minute. Better go check. I just have a live thing. I have to tell people bye. Yep. Gotta go. All right. Now the kids are ready for their ice cream, and they're ready for bed. Not. Kids are never ready for bed. I will talk to you later. Be well. Take care of each other. Make sure you get your ice creams. And for a final question, how did you end up in Anna Maria Island? I don't know. I actually got tickets to go there because my wife wanted to find a beautiful place to get married, and we got married there. And it was awesome. Go there. It's not for too long.